Hello, everybody. Welcome to the latest edition of the Disorganized Religion podcast, also known as the
Derp.
That's right. Joining me, as always, is my trusty sidekick. Maybe I'm his sidekick. I don't know. DaShaun Jones joining me all the way from your nation's capital, a Dunkin' Donuts in your nation's capital. So he's keeping the light on there. Before we get into anything else, it is time for us to reveal the winners of the second round of Music Madness. So I'm going to get right into it. The first matchup we're looking at tonight, it was Amazing Grace, the number 1 seed, versus number 9. Here I Am Lord snuck in as the Cinderella winner last week. Could Here I Am Lord possibly pull off the upset? Impossible. They do not pull up the upset at all. Amazing Grace wins it, of course. Amazing Grace moving into the Final Four as we all expected. Next one, we have a matchup of Blessed Assurance, the 4 seed, versus number 7, Let There Be Peace on Earth. Could there possibly be more peace to be found in the next round in the Final Four? Absolutely not. Blessed Assurance rolls into the Final Four. They take their place as they should in the semifinal, and they will face off against Amazing Grace. What an awesome, epic matchup. Amazing Grace versus Blessed Assurance to get into the final. Let's see who made out well on the other side of the bracket as How Great Thou Art. The number 2, the legendary Hall of Fame hymn, How Great Thou Art, number 2, going up against Cinderella. Number 12 seed, Lift Every Voice and Sing. You may recall they shocked the world last round by getting past Joyful, Joyful We Adore Thee. Did the magic continue? Did Lift Every Voice and Sing continue to sing into the next round? Not much of a chance against How Great Thou Art. How Great Thou Art, the number 2 seed, moving on into the Final Four as everyone expected them to. So, who will round out the Final Four? Would it be the number 6 seed, Be Thou My Vision, or It Is Well With My Soul? And It Is Well With My Soul, of course, is the winner. And so, talk about a clash of the titans. We will see It Is Well With My Soul facing off against How Great Thou Art in round 2. DaShaun Jones, you have heard a lot of music. You've been to a lot of church. Therefore, who do you see getting into the final between Amazing Grace and Blessed Assurance?
Matt, this is almost impossible to answer because these are four incredible hymns. But I think that Amazing Grace has what it takes to get to the semifinal. This is the semifinal, to get to the finale, our championship game. I think it has what it takes.
You know, I think that if you'd had these brackets shuffled up a little bit, if you had Amazing Grace going up against How Great Thou Art or It Is Well, it could be in real danger. But Blessed Assurance, I love it. Don't think it can take down Amazing Grace, so I agree with you, DaShaun. I think we see Amazing Grace in the final and vying to win the whole thing. The next one I think is even tougher to call. The 2-3 seed game, How Great Thou Art versus It Is Well. DaShaun Jones, how do you see it working out?
Matt, I don't even know how to call this. I don't know if I can call this. Both of these hymns are so great, but in their own unique way. And so I think it might resonate with, I think it might depend just on what the people who are completing the survey, I just believe it's going to depend on what type of day they're having. And, if I'm having a rough day, maybe I need some It As Well. But, if things are looking up, well, then sings my soul.
Well, how are you feeling today, DaShaun Jones? Who do you think wins it?
Today, if I had to pick, it's How Great Thou Art. I've had an amazing day in the nation's capital.
You're feeling it. Well, DaShaun,
that's my final one.
It would be fun to disagree with you on that one and see who's going to make it to the final. I agree. This is just a brutal one to have to pick. I almost feel bad making anybody pick it, but I'll get over that. I'm also thinking that How Great Thou Art will get over It As Well, and we will see How Great Thou Art moving on into the final. Cannot wait to see how it works out. So I feel like the voters have done good service getting the votes in. It's been a good contest. I've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing how it works out.
I am really excited for this championship game. I'm really excited.
I'm tempted to see what you think about who's going to go all the way. Get you on record to make the call 2 weeks early. So if you have these 4 songs remaining, who's your all-time winner?
I hate to be cliche, but I think Amazing Grace has what it takes to get all the way through. I think Amazing Grace has what it takes to win this thing. Yeah, I think that's my final answer, man. I think that's the one.
Well, brother, I again, like last time, I want to disagree with you. I think that'd be fun, and so therefore, good news. Disagree, my friend. I think How Great Thou Art pulls off the upset. I think Amazing Grace leaves shaking their heads, thinking, "We're Amazing Grace. How did we lose this?" It's because you went up against the most amazing song. I think I see the upset. The number 2 seed takes it all.
I don't think that's really Methodist of you,
gets it done.
It doesn't sound too Methodist of you.
I agree. It's purely the sound of it. Purely the sound of it. Purely how great it sounds. I mean, we can have the debate about how Methodist Amazing Grace is. We don't really believe that someday the world will dissolve like snow and the sun forbear to shine. We think those things will go on forever. And so, I don't know. I think theology's out the window here. It's all about which one I feel better singing. Don't tell the bishop, but that's kind of where I think we're getting our results from. So, all right. So I wanted to bring up a topic that might surprise some people. I think that we've had some heated rhetoric as people talk about privilege, right? Who has privilege? Is there is there a privilege to be had for your race? Is there a privilege to be had for your socioeconomic status, what have you? I would say there is a very significant privilege to be had by a certain group of people, and I'm curious to get your take on it, DaShaun. I would say that there is a massive privilege handed to anyone who lives in the Eastern time zone of the United States of America. Would you agree or disagree, my friend, that we have a massive advantage over every other time zone on the planet?
I have to agree with you, Matt. I mean, even people who work in business and the stock market, we've got a very reasonable time that everything's about to start kicking off. 9 a.m. is a beautiful time. 6 a.m. not so much. And even award shows, the Oscars or something like that. We get those over here at 7 p.m. and they're happening at 4 in the afternoon across the country.
Yeah. Think about what time Monday Night Football happens in Hawaii. Kids aren't even out of school yet when Monday Night Football is kicking off in Hawaii. I mean,
they're 4 hours behind us, right?
Something it's more than that, I think.
Wow.
So it's Eastern, Central, Pacific. No, Eastern, Central, Mountain, Pacific. Then isn't Alaskan, then Hawaiian? So are they 6 hours behind? Is that what it is? In any case, it totally throws off your Monday Night Football schedule. I mean, if you're rooting for a team that has a 1 o'clock game on Sunday, what time is that happening in Hawaii? Is that 7 o'clock in the morning? I mean, can you imagine? Here I am in mid sermon, bringing it home, and there's people listening to the game. At least we have the common courtesy of making football wait till after church is over in the Eastern time zone, right? It's 1:30 or the 4 o'clock games, right? So yes, Eastern time zone, we have it made. I think the whole world kind of organizes their TV around us. And then you have,
Now,
I mean, my brother
I
lives in
was,
Australia. Well, when they have New Year's Eve, I mean, happens at lunchtime over here when the New Year starts. I mean, come on, what are they doing over there? Craziness.
I will say, I think that the Pacific time zone, I think they've got it great and made for that Sunday night game. Because by the time that game is over, they've still got the rest of their evening. They can go grab dinner after that.
That's true. That's a good. Yeah. So I guess their Sunday night football is like middle of early afternoon. Yeah. So all right.
Yeah, it's our
So
4 o'clock game.
we'll let them have that one win over there in Hawaiian time. Not to mention the other wins that come from being in Hawaii. After all, I hear it's nice there. Trivia question for you. So as we know, people who are not Native Americans began arriving in the New World in America in the Eastern time zone, right? So then, they marched westward in subsequent years. And so today, the Eastern time zone does not actually have even half of the population. It now makes up about 47% of the US population lives in the Eastern time zone. So DaShaun, could you guess for me what year it was when the Eastern time zone no longer had more than 50% of the US population in it?
Okay. Oh, this is hard. Sometime in the 1950s. That's my answer.
What makes you think that? I mean, the gold rush was in 1849, right?
Yeah, but not everybody rushed for gold.
Well, that is true. So
I don't know.
Pick me a year. 1950 what?
50. Let's go 52.
Okay. So believe it or not, and this shocked me, believe it or not, the year that the Eastern time zone dropped below 50% of the US population was 1984. Can you believe that it was half the population that late? Yeah. So not long at all ago that happened. So here's the next one. So which one would you think is greater? The number of people who are currently alive on Earth or the number of people who have ever lived on Earth?
Oh, this is hard. I want to say, and it's going to sound ridiculous, but I want to say right now.
Yeah.
Because 8 billion people, I think we're at 9 billion people. That's a lot of people.
I think 7, but still
7.
It's a lot.
Okay. Yeah. It's a lot of people. And people weren't living that long back in the day. There's a lot of years there, but I don't think they have the technology to live the way we do. So I want to say right now, I think we got it right now.
So some people, it's funny how many people would agree with you, but that is not true. In fact, they estimate, according to the Population Reference Bureau, which is an organization in Washington, D.C., actually, along with you, that does this kind of research, they estimate that there have been 107 billion people in the world throughout history. So for every one person currently alive, there's 15 dead people somewhere in history.
Wow, that's astonishing. Actually.
Yeah. So in fact, for there to ever be more people currently alive than in history, you would have to have an astronomical birth rate for a pretty quick amount of time to get you there. And I mean, if you currently have 7 billion people on the planet, can you imagine having 107 billion at the same time?
Not at all.
Out of my way, move. Yeah. So the current life expectancy today is somewhere between 75 to 80 years old, right? Do you know what the life expectancy was in the Middle Ages? we're talking like 1200, 1300, 1400s.
Somewhere in the 40s or 30s.
10 to 12.
Whoa.
Can you believe that?
Plague? Was that like plague time or something?
It was.
Okay.
But you think of like infant mortality. Think of just diseases. They didn't have cures. I mean, they didn't have cures for any diseases back then. So I mean, I was shocked by that when I read about that. But wow, 10 to 12 is the average. So like, so many people never even made it out of childhood, which kind of makes it a little more understandable that there were so many more people that have died than are currently alive. But
yeah, it makes a lot of sense actually.
Yeah. So, all right. So my hot topic for today, DaShaun, I was reading I was reading the Twitter, and Twitter. One of the trending topics was the Christian flag in Boston. So I got into that a little bit. I thought that's interesting. What Christian flag was going to be flying in Boston? Turns out that a group wanted to. So in the Boston, at the Boston City Hall, they have some flagpoles, and they allow one of the poles to be something that different groups can sign up to take a turn flying a flag there. And so a group called Camp Constitution, which exists to enhance the understanding of our Judeo-Christian moral heritage. They wanted to raise
very fun. That sounds very fun.
They know how to party. Yeah. It said they sought to raise a Christian flag for 1 hour at an event that would include short speeches by some local clergy focusing on Boston's history. And so that went all the way to the Supreme Court. If you were to guess, DaShaun, which side won at the Supreme Court? Was it people who wanted to have a Christian flag flying on the flagpole in Boston, or people who did not want a Christian flag flying on the flagpole in Boston? How did the Supreme Court fall on that one?
Well, considering the current demographics of the Supreme Court, I'm going to say maybe they sided with the folks who wanted the flag flown.
That is correct. They did, in fact, side with them. Although Stephen Breyer, isn't he the one that's retiring?
Yes, he is.
Yeah. So it actually passed 6-3, but he voted in the majority. So it wasn't
which one of them switched.
Yeah, it wasn't a straight partisan decision there. But yeah, they said that they should allow the Christian flag to fly on the flagpole there. So my question is, does it benefit the spread of the gospel to have Christians lobby for things like this? Yeah, I guess that's a win for this group to get their First Amendment rights verified or confirmed, but I don't know. What does that do to the cause of the gospel?
I don't think it helps in furthering the cause of the gospel at all. You can look anywhere and see kind of an image of a cross. I think it matters a whole lot more for people who are non-believers and unchurched to see the church actually out in the community, actually doing something that imitates and reflects the love of Christ. It's really cute for us to have our services and to enjoy our Christian privilege, I guess. But I think it's so much more impactful and so much more important for those who don't know Christ or for those who are not churched to see us truly living out our faith, because I think that's the only thing that's going to continue to draw others to Him, is to see us living how Christ lived.
I have to agree with you. I don't know what good it does when Christians find themselves fighting with non-Christians in court. I know there's a time to not be a doormat, and I get that. But I mean, having the flag, having a Christian flag like with a cross, they had a flag with a cross on it, and lobbying to have that displayed at the Boston City Hall. I guess it's similar to like the fight about having the Ten Commandments hanging up in public places, right? I mean, does anybody walk by those and go, I should probably give my life to Jesus? I don't know. The Christian flag up there, does that endear anybody to, so yeah,
And you said it was only for an hour, right?
yeah, like they were having like a presentation, like people were giving some speeches about how
I think
churches were an important part of Boston's history.
Yeah. And I think that's even more kind of astonishing that we would go through all of that trouble for
For an hour.
for just like an hour of display time. And so I get it, you want your thing to be displayed on the flag, but on the flagpole, but I think something so trivial as that, especially when they were still allowing you to have the service, I think something as trivial as that is kind of unnecessary, and I think it's more detrimental to the gospel and to the spread of the gospel. Yeah.
I mean, I think the separation of church and state actually benefits the church a lot. If you think about it, there's plenty of Supreme Court cases that get that far because people orchestrated it that way. There's a very decent chance that they hung that flag, that they turned in that form to put that flag up there, knowing people would resist it, knowing that it would be a chance to have a fight. And so they went to local courts, district courts, state Supreme Court, national Supreme Court, and all as a chance to have this fight. And when we're in this, oppositional posture against people, I think it does more harm than good. So, well, man, Eric sent us a dad joke to include tonight, and I want to make sure that we get this in because it's one of the worst that we've ever shared, mainly because it's not from me. But DaShaun, what did Yoda say when he saw himself on a 4K TV?
I don't know, Matt. What did Yoda say?
He said, "HD, am I?"
That's horrible.
Yeah, that was sent from Eric Johnson. There it is.
Oh, there we go. What did Yoda say when he? Wow.
Sent by Eric for our podcast listeners' enjoyment. Well done, Eric Johnson. DaShaun, get your homework done, get good grades, and enjoy the privilege of living in the Eastern Time Zone. For Eric, who couldn't be here tonight, for Ioana, who was at rehearsal for some musical performance. We also have our new friend AJ, who's going to be joining us sometime soon. Take care, everybody. God bless. We'll see you later.
See ya.
We're the Derp, and we're out.
Derp.